Hi, people in the future, people who might be joining me in a few minutes. I'm Keyoka, the Awkward Black Nomad. I'm a writer, I'm a dog mom, and I travel solo. My channel is a place for me to talk about my experiences bopping around the world with my two chihuahuas, and I also invite other Black travelers to come down to the channel and tell all their little business, right? So if you have any questions about what it's like to live abroad, what it's like to travel abroad, this is the channel for you. Like the video, okay? Drop down in the comments if you have any questions for my guest today. And Black folk, we speak when we come into the room. So, say hi to us. Tell us where you are. Tell us what you eating. I don't care. Just drop down in the comments and speak. So let me bring her on. I remember how to do it. I always get, hi,
Hello. How are
how
you?
are you? I'm good. How
I'm
are you?
I'm good too. I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain.
So this is kind of a special day because you are one of the people who I know in real life on the channel. There's probably like a handful, probably a handful of people who I've met you. I think the first time I met you was in Morocco.
Was Morocco before Cape Town? I think
Yes.
Morocco was first. Yes.
So
So yes,
Morocco
you
and
met me in
Cape Town,
Morocco. Yes.
and
Yes.
here in Dallas, I've met you.
Yeah.
Um. So would you mind telling the people who you are?
I am Anita, aka Global Granny, and I am a retired single solo traveler on Team Bop. I bop around the globe, just yeah, enjoying my retired life.
So you be outside. Got it.
I'll be
Got it.
outside,
Mhm.
internationally outside, yes. And
In
I
and out.
happen to be in Dallas recovering. So, yeah.
Well, recovering from traveling a lot or recovering from your surgery that you had while
Recovering
you were in
from my
Vietnam.
surgery while I was in Vietnam, and that's what we're here kind of talking about, my surgery in Vietnam. Yeah, I'm recovering. It would have been just a wardrobe change, and then I would have just hit South America. But since I had surgery in Vietnam, I need to sit for a minute.
Mm.
These old bones need to relax and recover and recoup. And then I can hit the streets. Yes.
Well, we'll talk about your surgery in Vietnam, but I do want to back up a little bit. So you said that you're Team Bop and you
Mhm.
are, what did you call it? A single solo traveler, a single
Solo retired.
solo retired traveler. So take
Yes.
me back in time a little bit. Have
Mhm.
you always been a traveler, or was it just like the light switch went off and you were like, I have to go, I'm ready to bop around?
I have always been a traveler. And 2012 was the first time I went to Madrid, Spain. So going prior to going out of the country, I guess I could count Mexico. I don't really count Mexico as out of the country because we all go to Mexico, right, from the US. So I've always been a traveler, and I've always felt like every time I went somewhere I wanted to stay longer. So my first quote unquote real, what I call real trip was 2 weeks out of the country when I went to Spain. And I absolutely fell in love and I thought this is the life that I want going forward.
Mm. Well, there's a dog here. Well, Mexico, I'm going to Mexico next month. Child, we hope it's out the country, out the country. But
Well,
is it
that's not
because
first.
it's because I guess I could see it because the flight is so short. Like it's only what, like
Yes.
3 hours, I think, from
Yes.
Texas. Yeah.
From Texas. Yeah.
But you said the first time you spent like sort of an extended period, so those 2 weeks that you were in Spain, you were like, man, I wish I could do this forever.
Yes. Actually, I was there for a month, to be really
Oh,
honest. I was there for 1 month. This was back in the day. I used to work remote before it became popular, and I could be anywhere. And I was actually in Madrid for a month. I absolutely loved the place. It was amazing, everything I wanted, and I thought I could stay here.
hmm. And how did you
Yes.
decide to go to Madrid for that month?
I've always loved, it's a funny story. um, kind of stereotypical thing that I did because I always loved, I'll put it this, Spanish music, and I love the language. So I've always loved that. And I thought that Spain would also have salsa music. Well, no, they actually have flamenco. I was like, what? No salsa, no bachata, no what? But yeah, but they did have the language and the culture. So I did enjoy that. But yeah, I've always had that whole love of Latin everything. And Spain was my first trip outside of Mexico because I've gone to Mexico lots. I mean, Cancun, Cozumel, the whole beach part of Mexico I've always done. But I really wanted to do something culturally and something different. And
Mm.
so Spain wound up being, and I don't know why I chose Spain, but I chose Madrid, Spain. But I'm glad I did because I absolutely love it.
Do you speak Spanish?
Sí, poquito. I speak survival Spanish. I can order food. I can get to the bathroom. I can get to help. I can get
Same,
directions. So I will call it survival Spanish. I have survival Spanish. Yes. Yes.
same. Um, okay, so I guess since you are kind of like a long time traveler, did it kind of come to as a surprise for any of your friends and family when you decided that you wanted to actually kind of live this nomadic lifestyle?
No, not really, because in the U.S., I would always take vacations. I would always travel. Actually, I've moved a lot in the U.S., to be really honest about it. I moved from Chicago, where I'm originally from, the burbs, to Texas, to California, to Denver, to Florida. I've been in a lot of places. So they're not surprised at all. They're not surprised at all. They would never be surprised if I said, I'm not coming back. Now, they might be surprised if I choose a place permanently because I tend to be a part gypsy and I say I'm looking for my second home. But now that I'm out here, I don't know about that. So we'll see. We'll see.
How long have you been back in Texas?
Oh, 2 weeks?
Okay.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it's only I
Yeah.
feel like it's only gonna get worse the longer you stay. It's like
It will.
it's like oh I have to leave. I'm starting to
It,
shoulders
I,
getting
I
tight.
have, I have I have my ticket to Bogota already. Don't play. July 3rd. I have my ticket. I have my ticket. I got my stitches out 2 days ago,
Hmm.
and I got my ticket to Bogota. Don't play. I may have smaller luggage, yes, because I'm not supposed to pick up stuff, but baby, I'm out of here. Okay.
And I see y'all in the comment section. Hi Eileen. Hi Khadijah. Hey girl, hey. Y'all, if you were watching the video, drop down in the comment section. If you have a question for Anita about our conversation at any point of the interview, put a Q in front of your question. And as always, like the video. Give the girl some love? So, your friends and family are not surprised because you're nomadic. You're always like, I don't know, the people can't pin you down. But what about the younger generation? Because you are the global granny, what do your grandkids think about having a jet setting grandma?
They think it's pretty cool. And they've always known me to travel. And I've always
Mhm.
lived, not necessarily where they live, but last year when I came through, I did a wardrobe change. My grandson was like, "Why are you here?" And I really had to think about it. Not that he didn't love me and want me around, but he was like, "You don't like the summer here, and why are you here?" Because I actually came through last year around this time, and I think Mother's Day, because my daughters do want to celebrate me, and I'm trying to be a little more considerate of their feelings and the fact that they want to celebrate me. My normal goal is I try to make it here November, December, so my grandkids do see me. My younger grandkids, um, they don't really like the fact that I'm going as long as I am. They're just college age. My older grandkids are like, "Grandma, this is so cool. Where are you going next?" So yeah.
Mm. How do you plan your bops?
Um, I was strategic this time, a little more strategic this time. I knew I wanted to be somewhere warmer in the winter because I'm not a fan of cold weather. ice, no, none of that. So I did this past winter in Southeast Asia. So I was in Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia. Yeah, I was in KL, Malaysia. And when it warmed up, I went to Japan for a couple weeks and just back to Vietnam. So in and out of the Vietnam, in and out of the Southeast Asia area is where I am because it's warmer. It's warmer there and not too hot yet. So, yeah.
But did you fall in love with Japan? Because I always hear that people fall in love with Japan.
I did not fall in love with Japan. I did not. I hate to tell people. Well, actually, I just need to be, I keep it real. I keep it real. I am vegan vegetarian. I, the food in 7-Eleven is okay. It is not the kind of food that I could live on all the time. I was not impressed with the food at all. So I have heard people say they love the food in Japan, and I'm like, I do not know what y'all love. Other than, now what's funny is I was in Osaka. So the goal was to go and see the cherry blossoms. I went. They are absolutely gorgeous. There's gorgeous. And I spent a day in Kyoto. Hindsight, but that's how it works when you travel and you've never been anywhere before. Hindsight, I would have done it the other way around. Stayed mostly in Kyoto, went to Osaka for the cherry blossoms, and then hang out more in Kyoto. So the street food in both Osaka and Kyoto was good. Tempura, vegetables were good. The rest of the stuff was that I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
What did you like about Kyoto?
Um, it was. It's hard to describe because have you seen pictures of Kyoto? That
Mm.
Instagrammable orange long temple thing that they have. There was just a lot more eye candy, I would say, appealing things that I've never seen before. That's nice and pretty and shiny new. It's all nice. I like it. Now, the one thing that I would say across the board for Japan, it's organized and it's quiet and it's clean. So that just makes you like the place. And you can walk down the street and the air feels clean and different. And it could be because I was in Southeast Asia, that's not the cleanest air in the world. But in Japan, the air was absolutely clean. And you could tell the difference when we were walking down the street. Yeah.
Mm. Some people say that Japan is an introvert's paradise.
It is because they are not going to talk to you at all. And I am an introverted, and I don't mind people talking to me sometimes, not often, but yeah, you won't find anybody trying to have small talk with you in Japan, which was works for me.
Yes. And Anita, we appreciate your presence. Thank you so much today. Welcome back.
The introverts. But I was traveling with my extroverted friend. I was my extroverted travel buddy.
Who? Candace?
Abba, Abba.
Abba?
Candace is Abba is the yeah. Abba and I went to Japan, so she is my extroverted travel buddy. But when Candace didn't go to Japan. She had left us by then. But
Mm.
yeah, she's a great travel buddy because she is truly introverted, real deal
She
introverted.
not introverted with me.
Well, she's not introverted with me either, but there are days that she needs to be by herself, and she respects the fact that I need to be by myself. So she'll go off, and
Yeah.
we won't find her for a day or a couple days, and I know that's just Candace being Candace because she needs the time. I get it. I'm introverted. I totally get it. So yeah,
I love
she's
that,
the
and I
mhm, youngest introverted travel partner that I have.
so we gotta go somewhere then.
Yeah, we do because
We
that
gotta
would
go.
make you the youngest.
Now it's a competition.
Right. She's trained me on the use of my smartphone. So she showed me how to pin and map all the stuff that y'all do naturally. I call her my little young Jedi because she be training me. But yeah, we have fun. We
Oh
have fun.
Lord. But you said something that I do want to touch on. So it's you guys being able to kind of mesh your personalities. So understanding, okay, one person needs space, let me give them space, and I also need space. So how are you taking that into consideration as you build community abroad?
That's a really good question. we're all Exodus sisters, and we've all met at
Could
different
you tell the
times. I think.
people in the event that someone's watching and they don't know what Exodus Summit is? Could you?
Oh yeah, Exodus Summit is, gosh, are we 20,000? I think we're 20,000 plus Black women in the U.S. that we either want sabbaticals, travel abroad, bop around, be expats, because some people are actually moving to places, but we have all that in common. That and sisterhood. We want to help each other build community. Just all around nice people from every most of the folks that I have encountered. So I met Candace first in Cancun. We've had three outings or meetups that we've done over the years, and I met her first in Cancun. And I kind of met Ava, which is funny, in the comments section. We met in the comments section of the videos that we watched, mostly either Stephanie's or Rashida's, I'm not sure who, but we met in the comments before we met in person. So it's pretty funny, actually, yeah. And she lived in Mexico City at the time. So yeah, it's pretty
I
funny.
love that. The comment section is
Yeah.
lit. You
It
got I
is. Well, we be going in the comment section. Don't play. We know each other. And I met a few people out of the comment. She's not the only one, but she's the only one that we actually traveled together that I met in the comment section. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, we be going at it.
I love it. And Travelmatic out here doing the Lord's work. Please smash that like button, please. Everybody like
Okay.
the video. Look at him. Look at my brother today acting like he got some sense. We love to see it. ES is asking, introverted or with social anxiety. Who is this? ES, drop your real name.
Um,
Do I know you?
I am introverted and I don't think I have social anxiety. I just need to. There are times that I don't want to be bothered. I need to get away and decompress, especially when I'm in large cities. I was in Mexico City for a couple months and I had to get out because it's a lot of, what do you call it? A lot of stimulus, a lot of stimulus. And it's 22 million people. It's a lot and it's loud. I enjoy the food. I enjoy the people. I enjoy the museums. I enjoyed all the atmosphere. But then you got to get away. And I wound up going to Puebla. I wound up going to a smaller town just to get away from all that stimulus. And it helps when you're introverted. You need that downtime.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take a nap after this live. But so you were bopping around
Hmm.
Southeast Asia for the winter. Why did you
Hmm.
decide to get surgery in Vietnam? And kind of what went into that? Elaine, I know you, Elaine. I know you, Elaine. Sorry. What went into you deciding to get surgery in Vietnam?
Um, the lady that took out my stitches asked me the same question. She said, "Why did you get surgery in Vietnam?" I was there when I discovered that I had a hernia. I had a hernia, and I was there. And my concern was I had 3 more weeks in Vietnam, and it was protruding out. So I had the umbilical, is what they call it, and there's a strangulation point because so it will be cut off. When it pokes out, it's kind of like a balloon, a little teeny balloon. It was like 2 centimeters on the outside, and you can't push it back in. So it wasn't painful when it happened. I don't even notice when it happened. I only know that it happened after April 2nd. I know that for a fact because I had gotten my screening when I was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And, all of it, this is my second year going back, and I do the health screening when I'm there because that's only like $247. Who are not going to do a full panel, everything from head to toe in Kuala Lumpur for that kind of money? So I did that and I came back full health. I was great health. And they part of it is the ultrasound to your stomach. So if I had had a hernia, that I would have definitely felt that ultrasound thing going up and down my stomach. I didn't feel a thing. Got to Japan, I felt good. Got back to Da Nang, Vietnam, I felt good. And all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, what is this? So, like I said, I had 3 more weeks, where about a month and a half back left in maybe four in Vietnam. So I wound up going. I called Abba first, and I was like, "Girl, I think I got a hernia." She wasn't there, so Candace is gone. Abba's gone. Right, my two travel buddies. However, my other Exodus sisters are there. So I let them know that I'm going to the doctor. I think I got a hernia. And I went and they confirmed. They did an exam, confirmed what I thought. Only I had two, not just one, but two. One was pushed out and one wasn't pushed out. So the doctor said, I think you need surgery right away. I said, okay. So they scheduled my surgery for the next day. They did all the testing on Friday. When I say all the testing, I mean your heart. After they've done the CT scan to figure out how big it was and knew that they had to do open surgery with the mesh because that's what they do for hernias. And so they check your heart, they do x-rays, they make sure they do blood panel, all of the stuff that I did in KL, they do over again to make sure you are healthy enough for surgery. And then like come in the next day, 6:30 in the morning, we for your surgery. So we have a driver in Vietnam, wonderful guy named Truk, and he picks Diamond up first. He picks me up second because she went with me, and we have that surgery Saturday morning. I have surgery Saturday morning.
Oh
I was
wow.
nervous about getting on a plane, coming back on a 24-hour. It takes about 24 hours to get back, and having a hernia like that. And I've never had one before, so I didn't have anybody to say you're going to be okay. It's not going to burst. So in my head, I'm not getting on that plane because I don't know. And if it ruptures, I don't know. So why don't I just have them to, fix me up while I'm here and, see how it goes. And I was very impressed with all of the state-of-the-art equipment that they had, with the nurses, with the doctors. I only had one doctor, and I want to say he was the heart doctor. I think so, that couldn't speak English, and he actually had a translator. So she's a Vietnamese lady, and she was there. She was translating between what he was telling me and translating it into English.
Hmm. Did that pose any concerns for you going in and not having not having a physician that spoke English?
The initial doctor that did the consulting did speak English, albeit broken, but he spoke English and he understood how to communicate with me in English. I had my translator out too because I was like, you know what, I need to ask questions, and I asked questions of him. And it was funny because even though I'd asked questions of him and I translated, he would speak to me back in English. So it was pretty funny. I was like, okay, I got it. You speak English. I got it. So most of the staff there does speak English. Um, and of course it's with an accent, but still they speak English and you can understand what they're saying.
Hmm.
And when I would ask questions that they didn't understand, I would actually pull out my translator and have my translator speak back to them in Vietnamese. Yeah.
How did you, so obviously this was an emergency surgery, so I imagine not a lot of
Mhm.
research went into finding the hospital, but how did you find the hospital to actually go and have your surgery? Was it a referral?
It was a referral. I talked to Candace has a cousin named Amira who lives there. And Amira was telling me about the hospitals that are there. So I looked it up to find out the best hospital there. There was three choices that came up, and I wanted the best hospital. And it wound up being the International Hospital that has quote unquote state-of-the-art equipment, English speaking doctors, and I didn't know about it until I talked to Amira.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, if this is where the foreigners go or internationally recognized hospital, then I'm going to go here.
Hmm. See how you leaned on your community?
That's right. You got to, I'm telling you. And let me tell you, there is a good, solid community in Da Nang, Vietnam. Let me tell you, it's a bunch of sisters there. Some Exodus, some not. But yeah,
And didn't you tell me there's a black woman who opened up, what was it? A
Amira,
restaurant?
say cheese. That's her.
Say cheese.
The say cheese is her macaroni and cheese restaurant. It is good, and she has the best cinnamon rolls around, and she knows I love her cinnamon rolls. So yeah,
It's phenomenal. Shout out to Amira for recommending the
yes,
hospital and for keeping the people of Vietnam well fed. Um,
yes.
so how long did the procedure take?
I was wheeled back. It's really funny because they got me there at 6:30, which was too early, way too early, because they had a couple of other people that had the surgery that day. He had two other patients before me. So I think the surgery took about 3 hours before I woke up, if I remember they right. They took me back at 11 something, 12, 1, 2. I think I got back in my room about 4-ish. I have to look, because Diamond, shout out to Diamond Forbes, excellent, excellent sister, another excellent sister.
We love
She
Diamond.
kept my daughters, yeah, she kept my daughters informed. We had a little triangle thing going on with communication, and she'd take pictures, send it to my daughter, let them know when they took me back. Well, I actually could let them know when they took me back. And she let me know when I was in recovery, back to my room. So she did a fantastic job. And the hospital was really cool. They actually fed her because she was there with me. So before I went into surgery, she actually got a meal before I went in. So it was kind of nice. They brought her some food. I was like, that can't be for me because I had to fast. But yeah,
So after you had the surgery, how long did you stay in the hospital?
2 days.
2 days.
Yeah. hmm
And I'm assuming like meals were covered. It isn't like in
hmm
Mexico where you have to figure it out.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Heard that.
I told them I was vegan, and they brought me meals, mostly soft meals, mostly soupish kind of meals. They were okay. Nothing to write home to mother about at all, but it was okay. But yeah, 2 meals, 3 times a day. Yeah, breakfast,
Okay.
lunch, and dinner.
And when this happened, did you have any insurance?
None. I paid everything out of pocket.
Okay.
My first initial, what do you call it, consultation with the doctor and the initial exams they did was like 100 and, was it 30, $57. And the, of course, you always pay extra for anesthesiologists, even in the States. That was like 136. But my 2 day stay in the hospital, including everything that they do to you, was 5,000.
Okay. That's not bad. Listen,
Not at all. Put that
in
on
the
a credit card, got
US,
those points. I know. I know. I
in the
know.
US, you would
hmm
pay $5,000 and still owe. Like,
Exactly. Exactly. I cost me $300, which I didn't think was terrible, to get my stitches out. I'm like, how you gonna if I had gotten my stitches out in Vietnam, it's probably would have been $20 or something crazy like that. But because my medicine afterwards was $6.
mm,
And one medicine came from France. I think the pain medicine was in France, and the other one, inflammation, was from Costa Rica. Because on your, what do you call it? On the prescription, they actually tell you where the medicine came from. So it's kind of, I thought that was kind of interesting, odd. I was like, oh, okay, my medicine came from these two places.
I wonder if
Instructions.
it's
And you know,
to
the other thing,
explain the cost.
I don't know what the $6 it costs. I
Like,
don't know,
well,
but
but to say like this is expensive because it's from France,
I
or
guess, and maybe it would have been cheaper for a Vietnamese person. It could very well be, and that might be why they put what country it was from. I don't know. It was interesting. They actually cleaned my wound too. So when they checked me out, she said, "Come back in." They gave me pads to clean my wound, right? And then the nurse said to me, "Come back in and get your wound cleaned day after tomorrow." So I got out on a Tuesday. Yeah, Thursday. She said, "Come back in to clean your wound." I said, "Okay," because they sent me home with stuff to clean my wound. But then she told me, "Just bring that back and come back in. We'll clean it for you." Okay. I go back in Tuesday. She checks my wound. She cleans my wound. All is well. She said, "You're healing well. And you don't have to come back in till, was it Thursday, Friday, Saturday?" Okay. Come back in Saturday. And I thought the doctor was going to take my stitches out Saturday. And he was like, "No, you give yourself another week or two." I said, "Okay," because that was a week later. So that following third or Friday, no, Saturday, I went in and got my wound cleaned again, and he okayed me to travel. So the doctor came in. He said, "Yeah, you can travel. Just don't pick up heavy stuff. You can travel." So I said, "Okay," because I left that Monday and I headed back to the United States. And I spent a week in Chicago with my family, my brother and his wife, and just came back to Texas a couple days ago, last week, I guess. Yeah.
I'm so surprised after that kind of surgery that you can get on a plane. I thought because of air pressure, I might be making that up, but I thought because of air
But,
pressure you shouldn't travel after surgery.
well, it was 2 weeks, a week and a half after surgery.
Hmm.
Almost two, yeah, a week and a half after surgery, yeah. But I was more nervous about flying with the hernia than without it because, and I think his concern was more of flying with the hernia than without it being repaired. And I asked, because I asked the question, I said, do I need to extend my trip? Because you know I would have extended my time in Vietnam. No problem. Tell me I can't fly. I'll just leave, come back at the end of May. It's all good. He said, oh, no, no, you should be okay. I said, okay. So if the surgeon tells me I can fly, he just told me don't pick up any heavy anything. So Jamila, shout out to her, Vietnam, my girl, came in and Diamond, and they helped me organize my luggage and stuff like that, and helped me get out of the hotel. The hotel staff was next level because I was in my last week and a half, week 6 days, or yeah, my last week. I was actually in Holiday Inn, which one? Intercontinental downtown. Da Nang. It was nice. They went out of their way to make sure I was good. The staff was great, and yeah, they took care of me.
It's phenomenal. So
Yes.
in your time in Vietnam, what have you learned about Vietnamese people? Like how they received you as a black person, how they receive you as a woman traveling alone.
They are the kindest people. I thought Colombians were kind because I had some extraordinary experiences in Medellin when I was there. But let me tell you, the
Everybody
people
loves
in Vietnam,
Medellin.
I know,
Everybody
but
loves
yeah, you need to
Medellin.
go. Yeah, you need to go. But let me tell you, the people in Vietnam are next level, are next level. Anywhere from the service that you get, I mean, when you go into the hotels, you get a welcome beverage, and that's kind of normal, right? They greet you, they take your luggage, they bow. It's just next level. Kind, the food is good. The service, when I go other places and I don't get that kind of service, I was like, yeah, the people in Vietnam need to come and train y'all. They are they're really, really, really nice. And like I said, we have a driver now. And he is just kind. And he's like, what else can we what how else can I serve you? And I was like, you can marry me. That's what you can do next, okay? I just want you to know. But they're so kind and so thoughtful. Um, it's just it has been if you ever want to be treated like a queen, Vietnam, Da Nang specifically is the where to go. Now we went to Hanoi, we went to Dalat. They have good food, they have nice people, but the level of customer service that you get in Da Nang is just
Mm.
totally different. Totally different. Yeah.
Did you ever get sick from street food or?
No, I didn't. I didn't eat. I don't eat street food because of my diet. I just don't eat street food. Well, no, I take that back. I take that back. One place, Hanoi. I went on a food tour in Hanoi, and I did not get sick. And the gentleman took us to local places. They altered it a little bit for me, but no, I didn't get sick. But like I said, I mean, I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy products. So, so a lot of that stuff that sits out like that and people eat it, it can wreak havoc on your system. But I never got sick. No diarrhea, no feel like I want to throw up, none of that.
I love it. Okay. A4 says, okay, I'm sold. Vietnam is now at the top of my bucket list.
Yes, you will not be sorry. You will not be sorry. Now, when you go to Hanoi, which I like, actually, I like Hanoi. They will look at you a little different. They will smile and they will want to take a picture with you, which was really interesting. I didn't expect that. I was like, okay, you want to take a picture with me? Okay, okay. And
Did you
they
take
love
the
it when you
picture?
try. I did. I took a picture with an older lady, actually. But when you go to the restaurant, they're so excited, and they want you to come back every day, right? Because there was a vegan restaurant a couple doors down from us, and the lady was always wanting us to come. Greeted us with a big smile. Um, just gosh, warm and friendly, like I've haven't experienced. So I guess I could say Hanoi was like that in two of the places that we went to. And I can't leave Dalat out also. People don't go to Dalat, but we went to Dalat, and it is cooler weather, higher altitude. And the lady that we go to her vegan restaurant, and maybe it's a vegan thing, I don't know. She treats us like family. Like when we come through the door, she stands up and she hugs us like we're long lost family. That, and our son comes down. the stairs, and we get this big greeting. It's like cheers. Everybody knows us, even though they can't speak English. So and they always want to feed you. Come and eat, come and eat, come and eat.
Oh, I
So
like that
yeah,
kind of place.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
And Dalat is interesting, a smaller town, and you would like it from an introvert perspective because it's not as crowded. And when you go to Dalat Center, where all of the low cost shopping is, it's not packed. Because in Da Nang, it is. When you go to Han Market, it's people up and down every aisle. Yes, you can get the inexpensive clothes. Yes, you can get the inexpensive shoes, but there's people everywhere. When you go to Dalat, we talked about going back and trying to get some things made just to see their quality of clothes being made alike. But we're going to have to up our game when it comes to communication because they are pretty shy. And it took us buying something on the second floor for people to even say other than Sing Chow. They would say it sometimes, and we said it to them, and they look at us like, "How you even know that?" But more of shy and more of curious because you're darker, you have different hair, you are way taller, so you look totally different, and there's nobody on the street that looks like you. So yeah,
but apparently, as you said, some black people have made Vietnam their home.
yes,
So,
yes, it's in Da Nang for sure. In Dalat, no,
yeah.
no, but they're very friendly. It's really interesting how friendly they are and open to us.
Mm,
So I enjoyed it.
okay. I love that. Um, do you feel like you travel different now that you are retirement age versus when you were in your 30s and 40s?
Absolutely. The good news is I get to stay longer, and I like that part. The other news is if I don't feel a place, I can leave. And the other part is it makes you travel slower. You don't feel like you have to do all the tourist stuff. And there's things that I absolutely missed. I didn't know they had what was it, incense in Hanoi, because I don't travel to see the tourist places. I travel for the feel of the place. Excuse me. So I like the feel and the culture and getting to know the place and not necessarily getting to know the locals, but experiencing the local feel, I would say. Because Vietnam is a very difficult language. And I do have one friend that actually wants to learn English and practice English with me. So I have to get used to the spatial or lack of spatial space that they give you because they don't understand about the space. You can't be right back up, back
So
up, back
people
up.
keep going in your face. They don't
Woo
have a.
wee! Get the back sense of no, they do
Oh,
not.
so that's like a
They do
cultural
not.
thing. Okay. So it's a
Yes,
cultural thing.
it's culture. It's cultural. Absolutely. Yeah. So
Okay. I
yeah.
always thought, I don't know why. Well, because in the US, we like to give people their bubble,
Mhm.
ideally. But
Mhm.
that's interesting that you've gone to Vietnam and now you know this. Because now I'm thinking about all the people I've looked at crazy because they've invaded my personal space.
Yes, they have no concept of personal space. They won't in Medellin either, by the way.
Hmm.
They will not have it because I have a local friend in Medellin, and she wanted to take me out to show me a couple of restaurants that she likes, and she's here, and the waitress is here. I can see the pupils in her eyes. Yeah,
To cooks.
because as Elena wanted me to talk to her, I was like, and I couldn't go anywhere. So now, because I know they do that, I sit immediately. So you can't invade my space. So I'm sitting. I am sitting. So that's the key. Sit.
Just sit down.
And yes, sit down. Especially, yeah, that didn't work with my friend in Vietnam because she was right next to me. Well, we were doing language exchange. She was right here. So, I had to do that. Yeah. That was that was pretty amazing.
Oh
But
gosh.
yeah, your personal space, yeah, those are the only two places that I've been that I really remember, oh my God, my personal space has been invaded. Mm, mm.
Were there any other, can
So
you
yeah.
think of any other places you've been where maybe you've had to adjust a little bit to something?
Personal space or just period?
Just period. Like maybe there's a cultural norm that doesn't really mesh well with you.
I am probably a very un-American American, if I could say it that way. So I'm observant of people and environments. I'm not sure if I saw anything that didn't mesh with me from a cultural perspective. Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you been to a place where you felt like you were being mistreated?
No, I haven't. And I've been to the places that people tell me they've been treated. I've gotten free food in Madrid, and there have been people that said that they weren't treated differently. Now, I was shunned, I would say, by some of the Africans that kind of hurt my feelings in
Oh,
Madrid
listen, we not.
specifically.
Excuse me. Hold on. Hold up, because
Okay,
this is an issue,
that's a
and
no-no.
we
Okay, we don't have to
are
talk about it.
listen because
I just said my feelings were hurt.
I would love to have a larger conversation
Yeah,
about that, but on today we're going to
yeah,
retreat.
got
So
it. Retreating. So when I was in Rome, I had people tell me in Italy they had a hard time, but this guy gave me his phone number, so I don't know. And another one was smiling and giving me directions, so I have
well,
not had that issue. And Rome was good to me, and people were saying that they felt discriminated against Rome. I don't know, uh, and I was there for a month, so I don't know.
well, the people say Italians love black women. Confirm or deny?
Confirm, confirm. Even
What?
us old folks. And no, I didn't call him because you know what? I have children, and therefore I'm older. I'm
Fine.
I'm older. So yeah, no boo. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna
So
leave
yes,
Anita
please go.
alone. I'm gonna leave Anita alone. But I've said this. You better go snatch up them youngins and stop playing. Okay? Them youngins are coming after you for a reason. Okay? You better snatch. Go after it.
Moving on. Oh God,
Okay, so
too
basically,
funny.
some of the places that people have had negative experiences, you yourself have enjoyed, have been met with kindness. Free food is a
Yeah.
big one for me. Like you feed me, what can I
Yes.
say?
I
I'm ready.
I know, right? I got free food in I was walking out of a place in Madrid because I was walking around. I'm a wanderer. So I'll wander up and down the streets. If something looks good to me, I'm stopping in, I'm going in, and I'm asking, for can I taste this or, actually buy. And I was leaving the restaurant and the girl said it was a gluten-free restaurant, and I'm not a gluten-free person. But I was in a gluten-free place and I had a smoothie and a cake. And she actually gave me the second cake. I was back to eating, and she came back and she said, "Would you like this?" And I went, "Absolutely. I'm not going to turn that down." Yeah, yeah. And that mostly happens in Mexico. Whenever you go to any fruit stand in Mexico, or I would say that happens to me in Mexico a lot. I get free stuff in Mexico. I don't know what it is, but I get free stuff. But in Spain, in Madrid, of all places, I was very impressed and very like, okay, yeah, free stuff.
Yeah. I prefer Madrid
Yeah.
over Barcelona, honestly.
I didn't like, yeah, I didn't like Barcelona. First time I went to Barcelona, I think I stayed on Los Ramblas,
Hmm.
and it was hyped. I think it was hyped up so much, and I think when you go to Madrid first, I went to Madrid first. I did a little excursion to Toledo and came back to Madrid, and then the following weekend I went to Barcelona. I couldn't wait to get out of Barcelona. I didn't like it at all. And I think because I already had the expectation that it was going to be like Madrid and be like Toledo. And then I went to there and I went, this is like New York with trees and cleaner. What am I doing here? So I had different expectations of the architecture. So I think it was really me. So I always tell people, and I don't really care if it's on a beach. Okay, it's on the beach. I don't care. I'm not a beach person, so I don't care. But if you love architecture, you will love Madrid over Barcelona. And if you go there first, then you won't like Barcelona. So it's almost like you got to have your mind right. Because other than that church in Gaudi, there's no, there's no architecture in Barcelona. You can go to New York and save you some money. So it's, not in food, of course, but yeah.
I don't know about all that. I didn't like Barcelona, but I went to Barcelona first and then I went to Madrid and then I was like, "Oh, that's
Okay.
why this is why cuz I couldn't verbalize why I didn't like Barcelona because I'm
Hmm.
like, people like this place.
Yeah.
So why don't
Right.
I like
What?
this place?"
And then
And
you
then I
went to
went to
Madrid and you knew.
and it was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's what it is." I
Yeah.
think I don't know. What time did you go? Like during what season?
I've gone twice. I've gone in the summer and I've gone in the fall to Madrid, and actually to Barcelona in the summertime. I think Madrid has a vibe that's clearly Madrid, and it has culture, and it has depth, and I don't think Barcelona has that, in my opinion. Well, it didn't for me. So I was like, if I never go back to Barcelona, it's all good. But as much as I love Madrid, I will go back to Madrid, not in the summertime because it's too hot, but in the fall or spring, I would absolutely go back to Madrid. Absolutely.
Yeah, I could see that. I agree.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so what would you say to other older Black women who are curious about travel or curious about going abroad, but they're scared, they're hesitant?
Yeah, a lot of them are, and that was one of the reasons why I started my channel too, to be honest, because I wanted older women to know that we can go. You have time as an older woman. I would say start with Mexico because that's a softer landing. Specifically San Miguel de Allende. I think that is probably the softest landing place outside of the Cancun, Cozumel places, which I'm not a fan of. Outside of those places, interior, that is the softest landing place I've been because they will speak so much English that you won't feel uncomfortable. And they seem to cater to Westerners. That's why I would recommend. And they're small and bite sized and that kind of thing.
There's also a very poppin' community of Black women in San Miguel de Allende that are
Absolutely.
they always doing something.
All age range. Yes.
Always
All
they're
age
always
ranges.
doing something.
Yep. And Michelle with Casa Elm. Yeah. And Terry's there. Shan's there. A lot of great people there. I think Pilar left. She's in Guadalajara. But there's a whole bunch of great, wonderful women that are there. And you'd have a network of people that are there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, I dropped Anita's YouTube channel in the comment section. I'm gonna pin it. It's also gonna be in the description of this video. Um, Follow her, and we hope that she creates more content for
I
everybody.
know. I am. I am. I am. Because I do have some things to say about Southeast Asia. And all of the countries that I've been to there. And when I go down to South America, I'm going to, of course, spend more time in Bogota specifically. And of course, I'm gonna go back to Medellin because that's where my heart and my buddies are. Local friends. I have two local people that I hang out with when I'm there. And I want to do Brazil. I want to spend some time in Brazil as well. And of course, Machu Picchu, but that's a tourist thing and not a stay thing. But yeah.
Definitely. I Flutter by PNW says, glad to hear someone else say this. I thought Barcelona was sterile. Loved Madrid. By the
Hmm.
way, these are
Hmm.
not the opinions of Keyoka or the Awkward Black Nomad brand. Um, so like my
These
video,
are right. These are opinions of some of
these
the folks that
are
have been there.
opinions of my guests. I
Yes.
have a video about what I think about Barcelona. If anybody wants to check that out. Uh, Khadijah is asking what sparked your passion for bopping around instead of settling during retirement.
Um, I initially started out thinking I was going to settle somewhere. I really did. When I left, I said, you know what? I'm going to find out where my new home is going to be. But I'm not going to say that I'm not going to ever do that. But I would say that there's too many countries and too much out there for me to decide what I really like. Because you think you know until you get out there. And then you change. Then what you like changes. So I'm not willing to settle because I don't, there's too many places, there's too many different places before, I haven't been in Brazil. I'm the second, what is it, the largest country in South America. I haven't explored there. So I need to explore to decide. I've been to Portugal, I've been to Spain, I've been to France, I've been to Italy. Um, I did some time in South Africa. I would absolutely go back to Cape Town, no question. But there's more. I liked Cape Town. I know. I already know. I
I like
already
Cape
know.
Town. I like Cape Town.
Whatever. Okay, okay. Because
But
everybody say that too. That's like, I like Johannesburg. I don't like Cape Town. I get that from everybody. I love Cape Town. I've been to both. And like you say, that's just my opinion based on my background, personality, blah, blah, blah.
what
Yeah.
did you like about Cape Town over Johannesburg?
The walkability and the fact that I could walk around and wander and explore. And it had water and mountains. I'm a
Okay.
I'm a I'm an explore kind of girl. I want to be able to drop my bags and walk left, walk right, walk down the street. And if I can't do that, that is automatically not my place. And if there's no water anywhere, and like I said, I'm really not a beach person, but I like water. And if there's a river, a fountain, or somebody, and on the waterfront, and then you have the mountains in Cape Town. So you have the best of both worlds right there.
Mm.
The food was good, the people were nice. So yeah, and the weather was perfect. I am a 70-degree all day girl. If it gets to 70, 75, I'm loving it. 80, okay, I can handle that. 85, time to go in for a minute till it cools down.
But I don't want to skip over what you said about how like travel has changed you and it's
Hmm.
changed what you like. And I really resonate with that because I feel like the more places that I see, it makes me want to see even more places.
Yes.
Like I'm always finding new destinations or new things I want to check out and um
Hmm.
it's difficult to do that when you're trying to squeeze it into short bubbles of time. Like I like to go to places and stay for a month or stay for
Exactly.
2 months, just because it's like,
Yep.
how can you make,
Yes.
you really can't make friends in 2 weeks.
Very true.
You really can't find the layout of your neighborhood if you're only there for a week, you know.
Right. You need a month.
You
Yes,
need a month.
absolutely. Yep,
You need a month.
you do.
But I love that. I've never heard it articulated in that way, and I appreciate it. Um, I have so many things I want to talk to you about. You have to come back on the channel, I think. I think that's the answer.
Okay.
I feel like that's
Okay,
the
that can be the answer. I will be it'll be easier for me because I'm going to be in South America. I'm be on the same kind of time zone. So I'm on just an hour or two. It's way more difficult in Southeast Asia to do lives.
Mhm.
I know Sandra does it. And actually you have to check out hers. I did one with her. We both went to Prince Court for the screening that they do for the
In Kuala Lumpur.
our age group. Yeah, Kuala Lumpur. So yeah, for anybody that wants to do that, we highly recommend it. I think she's going to do another screening at another place, but yeah, it's harder to do lives when you're there. So hats off to everybody that does lives in Southeast Asia, but I'll be in South America, so we can continue the conversation.
I love it. Do
Yep.
you feel like what's one myth that people may have about aging or retirement that you wish they would let go of?
One myth that they would have a retirement. Oh, one myth is that when you get old, you just want to sit down and do nothing and just, or when you get up in the morning and you're stiff and your bones ache, you're like, this because I'm getting old. No, it's because you haven't moved. Okay. You need to exercise. You need to walk. So if you're aching and aching, and it's hard here, okay? It's hard because it's hot where we are, hotter than we like to, and it's not walkable. It's not made to be walkable. But I think our sedentary lifestyle has hurt us more than. quote unquote aging because I'm 67. I'll be 68 next year. And um, I think that people my age are worried about getting older or worried about things that they can actually control. You can control what you eat, which will help you be healthier. There's no guarantee we're all going to die. I mean, it is what it is. But you don't have to do the sick suffer part. That you can control. I mean, I had a hernia that just happens to people. I don't know why, blah blah. I don't know, but I had one. But my panels came back perfect for my age. My panels came back better than some of the 40-year-olds that were in her office, according to my doctor. So it's kind of like you decide. They're your decisions. I've decided that I wanted to travel the world. To do that, I need to be healthy and I need to be able to walk around. And the more you use your legs, the more they will help you. So I use my legs. I walk around. I do squats. I do a little Tai Chi and yoga stretching. I do. I do all that. And I can't do anything now except for my bands. I got some exercise bands that I purchased when I was in Japan, and I use them for my upper body because, women always think about, oh, what if I fall? Then you get back up and you learn how to use your upper body, which I am very grateful. I didn't fall. Um, I can move myself around without using my abdominal muscles because of my arms. And you have to work them in order to get there. So, yeah,
I
it's
love
not
that.
scary. It's not scary. And and you don't have to run a marathon. You just have to walk. That's all. Just walk.
But you are traveling by yourself for the most part. You have friends all
Yes.
over the world. You do
Yes.
find friends when you get to certain places, but you are
I am
essentially
traveling.
traveling by yourself. So, can you
Yeah.
speak to maybe some of the fear that not necessarily maybe you have, but maybe other people have for you, or if somebody's watching this and they're a little hesitant doing it on their own?
It, you know, I think we're afraid of what we don't know. And if you are already single, you do way more than you think alone. You live alone, you grocery shop alone, you go to the restaurant alone, you go to the movies alone, you go to plays alone, and maybe you don't because you're awkward or you think they're looking at you. And so you feel like you can't, right? All right. But here's the funny part. If you ever be observant when you go out to eat, people are on their devices, their heads are down, and they're barely talking to the person next to them. If you want to, if it makes you feel better, you can do the same thing. You can do it with your book, you can do it with your device, you can put your head down and go through your favorite podcast, whatever you want to do with your headphones yourself and enjoy yourself. You can start doing that in your own neighborhood. And as far as flying is concerned, honey, this gray hair will part the waters for you. The grayer you are, the more respect you get. No joke. No joke. You ever want to see some pardon the waters? I'm telling you. And people in the airports are very, very helpful. Very, very helpful when you're by yourself, when you're in places that you don't speak the language, because I am in places where I don't speak the language. I'm not always in a what do you call it? A Spanish speaking country. I'm more comfortable in a Spanish speaking country. I've been in Italy where I got to ask people questions and I pull out my translator and ask questions. A smile goes a long way. A smile goes a long way. And a gentle voice goes a long way. There's nothing that's going to happen to you. You may get lost and turned around. I have been lost and turned around. It doesn't kill you. It makes you uncomfortable. But I'm okay with asking for directions. I don't have all the answers. I'll get in a place and I will go the wrong way. I'll turn around and go the right way. So it's okay to get lost. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to unlearn all the things that we've learned at our age. Yes, you're going to make a mistake. Yes, you're going to take a wrong turn. And yes, I have gotten a Uber driver to take me to the last Airbnb I was at, not once, but twice, because mistakes are made, and it's okay. That's part of the learning process. And you're gonna screw up to the point where I couldn't get on a plane once. I screwed up. It was my mistake. But you gonna get mad? You can, but that's a lot of energy you can use for something else. So give yourself some grace and go out here and take a deep breath and do it afraid. You're gonna be nervous, absolutely. There are times that I have been real nervous because I'm going to a place by myself. I'm on a plane by myself. I'm the only black female in that particular section of the lounge or of the aircraft. And sometimes they're budget and sometimes they're not. But I'm the only one most of the time. You just get used to it, to be the only one. It's okay. They're going to treat you, the flight attendants, they're going to treat you with respect and go afraid, even if you're nervous. That's okay. Chew some gum. I don't know. Do what you do. Bite your nails. I don't know. No, but go. Don't not go. The world is a fun place. It's not scary as in dangerous. Butterflies in stomach because you're nervous. But once you get the lay of the land, you're good. And if you are not comfortable with the Airbnb, stay in a hotel because most of the staff there is going to speak English. So go. Don't not go.
And that feeling when you do go and you get there feels so good.
It does.
Feels
It
so good.
does. It feels so good. It feels so good. It feels so good. I know there's been times where I didn't know how to use the what do you call it? The little hand thing on my arm rest at the airport on the airplane. I'm on one airplane and it's different on another airplane. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I mean, and you learn to laugh at yourself. But you're right. You learn so much about yourself and so much when you're out there in the streets. Yep,
So much
it's just
about the
worth it.
world. I remember
Yes.
I had to Google how to use the furnace in the UK
Mm.
because I was
Whew.
freezing
Mhm.
because there's no
You.
central heating and I didn't know how to work the thing.
Ooh.
But
Yes. Yes.
you adapt and you acquire new information. And
Yes.
it's a
And
beautiful
this
experience.
and this little thing is your friend because you take pictures of it and you translate it into your language. You were
Hold it up in
lucky
this hand.
because you had, oh, this way, this way, this way.
Oh,
That's called, you take a picture of it and it'll translate for you. I've had to do that to learn how to, oh, and flushing a toilet in Japan, it was hysterical. It was hysterical. So there's some things that you will learn, and there's some things you'll laugh about, and it's just learning. Give yourself some grace. Yeah. And you're right. You will feel so good. You feel so powerful when you're done. Only to go to another country next time, and it'll be all different.
right. Do it all over.
Do it all over again. Do it
And
all
then
over
you'll get
again. Yep.
addicted, and then you'll never want to go back home.
Oh, I know. And then you experience the culture shock.
Of
Ooh,
coming
of
back
going
home
to
to the
of
U.S.
coming back to the U.S. Yes, and
Yeah.
yeah, immediately empty out your pockets. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, things are so expensive here. It's craziness. But yeah, but it is what it is.
What is something that you have learned about yourself through travel?
Um, Probably that I learned how to. This was a learned because I didn't. I don't know, and I don't know if I knew this before I left. I've learned how to be still and live in the moment. I don't think I knew that or how to do that before I left, but I know how to live in the moment now.
It's beautiful.
Hmm.
All right, Anita, I appreciate you coming down to the channel. Everyone,
Thank you
I
for
have,
having me.
of course, I have put Anita's YouTube channel in the comment section of this video. I've also added it into the description box. Like the video, drop down in the comment section. Let me know what your favorite part of our conversation has been. Click the notification button so you are notified when we go live. Oh, announcements. Y'all not finna see me, by the way. Next month is my birthday. Gemini season is upon us, and unfortunately, I will be outside or inside, or probably inside, minding my business, resting, staying hydrated and feeding myself. But don't worry, I will figure out some kind of content to post in my absence. Um, and yeah, thank you all for watching me. Whether you're watching me right now, you're watching me in the future. I appreciate all you guys' love and support. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't subscribed. Subscribe to Anita's channel if you aren't already subscribed.
Absolutely.
Anita,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining me.
Yes.
And peace out. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend.
Bye.